Hello, it's Kathy again, and I'm pulling from Magical Heart Healing Cards by Anna in Wonderland. And the card I pulled is Healing Embrace, Compassion, Being There for Another. This card is asking you to be a messenger of love for someone else. Open your heart to those around you. Don't be afraid of the pain that others are feeling. Look straight into the hearts of those who are with you and see the pure love that is there. And then simply be present and bless someone special with your gift of compassion. Let your loving embrace heal a deep wound today. And the magic prayer is, my heart's embrace heals all wounds. Such lovely cards. Look how much she made. Quite a lot. Very inspired cards. Okay, we're reading Divine Principle. We're still on Abraham. The foundation of substance. To establish the foundation for the Messiah in Isaac's family, the foundation of substance had to be laid next. For this purpose, Isaac's son, Esau and Jacob. Oh, I just realized we're now up to Abraham's son, Isaac, not Abraham. Had to be placed in the divided positions of Cain and Abel respectively. By making the substantial offering, they were responsible to fulfill the indemnity condition to remove the fallen nature and lay the foundation of substance. However, before Esau and Jacob could fulfill the indemnity condition to remove the fallen nature and make the substantial offering, Jacob first had to fulfill the indemnity condition to restore the position of Abel. First, Jacob fulfilled the condition of victory in the fight to restore, on the individual level, the birthright of the eldest son. Jacob, as the second son who had the responsibility to restore the birthright of the firstborn son, cleverly obtained it from Esau in exchange for some bread and a pottage of lentils. Second, Jacob went to Haran, which represented the satanic world. After suffering through 21 years of drudgery, he triumphed over Laban in the fight to restore the birthright by gaining family and wealth as his due inheritance. After winning this victory, Jacob returned to Canaan. Third, on his way back to Canaan, the land of the promised blessing, Jacob triumphed in wrestling with an angel at the ford of Jabbok, thereby restoring dominion over the angel in a substantial struggle. Through these three victories, Jacob restored through indemnity the position of Abel. Thereupon, Jacob became the central figure of the substantial offering. When Jacob returned to Canaan with his family and wealth after enduring 21 years of hardship in Haran, he moved Esau to overcome his former hostility. In Genesis 33:1-4, and Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming, and 400 men with him. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the two maids, and he put the maids with their children in front, then Leah with her children, and Rachel and Joseph last of all. He himself went on before them, bowing himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. When Esau opened his arms and affectionately welcomed Jacob, they fulfilled the indemnity condition to remove the fallen nature. For the first time, the foundation of substance was laid successfully. Their victory in the providence centered on Abraham also restored through indemnity, horizontally in one family, the long vertical course of history in which God had been working to restore the foundation of substance. And then we're up to the foundation for the Messiah. Okay, foundation for the Messiah. God's work to lay the foundation for the Messiah, which he first tried to establish in Adam's family, had to be conducted 3 times because the central figures of the providence of restoration could not fulfill their portion of responsibility. The third attempt was in Abraham's time, yet even this was prolonged when he failed in the symbolic offering. Isaac and his family inherited the will and laid the foundation of faith and the foundation of substance. At last, the foundation for the Messiah was established. One would expect that the Messiah would have come on earth at that time. However, by Abraham's time, fallen people had already built up satanic nations which could have easily overpowered Abraham's family. Hence, even though the foundation for the Messiah was laid at that time, it was a limited foundation on the family level. The Messiah could not have safely come on that foundation. A foundation of a sovereign state was needed to cope with the nations of the satanic world. Though the descendants of Isaac had established the family foundation for the Messiah, they would leave their homeland and suffer in a foreign land for 400 years as the penalty for Abraham's mistake. Despite their suffering in Egypt, they would flourish and consolidate as a people. They would return to Canaan and build the national foundation for the Messiah as a sovereign nation prepared for the Messiah and his work. A course of indemnity had been placed upon the shoulders of Abraham's descendants due to his mistake in the symbolic offering. Jacob was to begin this course of indemnity, not Isaac. Indeed, the one who shoulders the major burden in walking the course of indemnity is the able-type person who serves as the central figure of the substantial offering. Jacob's family stood upon the foundation for the Messiah, which had been completed in Isaac's family. Inheriting the position of Isaac's family, they set out to complete the dispensation entrusted to Abraham by taking responsibility for Abraham's sin and embarking upon the 400-year course of indemnity. In Jacob's family, it was Joseph, the son of Rachel, Jacob's wife on God's side, who was to secure the position of Abel by entering Egypt and walking the course of indemnity. Jacob, as the central figure who laid the foundation for the Messiah in Isaac's family, was responsible to shoulder Abraham's sin. He was also responsible to embark upon an indemnity course to realize on the national level the will which had been entrusted to Isaac. Therefore, as was the case with Abraham and Isaac, God regarded Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as the same person with respect to his will, even though they were three different individuals. In conclusion, Jacob was victorious in taking responsibility for the indemnity course to pay for Abraham's mistake. By using his wisdom for the sake of God's will, Jacob triumphed as an individual in his struggle with Esau to win the birthright. He entered Haran and as a family triumphed in a 21-year struggle with his uncle Laban to win the birthright. On his way back from Haran to Canaan, Jacob was victorious in the fight with the angel. He was the first fallen man to fulfill the indemnity condition to restore dominion over the angel. Thereupon he received the name Israel, signifying that he set the pattern and laid the groundwork upon which the chosen people would be established. After returning to Canaan with these victories, Jacob won Esau's heart, and together they fulfilled the indemnity condition to remove the fallen nature. Jacob thus victoriously completed the model course to bring Satan to submission. A life of faith involves putting ourselves in the position of an offering. Only by dividing good from evil in ourselves can we become living offerings pleasing to God. We should constantly separate good from evil within ourselves, according to the standard of God's will. If we neglect to do this, a condition is set up for Satan to invade. So I have to figure out what does it mean to separate good and evil? What specifically are you doing within yourself to offer yourself to God? How do you separate the part of you that is selfish, the part of you that is concerned only for your own salvation? Because that's my problem, because I've been in hell. I think about, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to go to hell. So I'm focused on my own salvation, and I worry about my family, but I'm not thinking about others as much because I'm so focused on myself. So I have to figure out how to divide that evil part of me that just thinks of myself. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you could understand the course of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Thank you. Bye.